to the Tool Station Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. We'll start with the FA Vase, and huge congratulations to Emley AFC who've made it into the last 8 of the competition. Here's the chairman Andrew Painten to tell us about their last 16 win over Wycombe.
Hi Richard and all your listeners, this is Andrew Painten, chairman at Emley AFC. There's a real buzz around the place, and although the league remains our priority, to reach the quarterfinals of the FA Vase for the first time since 1988, we're well chuffed. It was a great occasion too in round 5 when we beat Wycombe 2-0. 828 was the attendance, our biggest crowd for a competitive game since we returned to the Northern Counties in 2006. We're in a village of 1,500, so that's a tremendous figure. And now the little village team heads to a city. Hard to compare the teams in other leagues around the country, but based on form and league tables and the odds at the bookies, Worcester City away in the next round, probably the toughest draw we could have had really. I'm sure Worcester will be full of confidence, but also maybe a little bit wary. Arguably, we're a team those in the last 8 would have wanted to avoid. You know, we're not going there just to enjoy the day out. And now we're running the FA Cup, beating 2 teams from the level above and pushing Alfreton of Step 2 all the way. Means we know we have it in us, to be honest. So we'll do our homework, we'll prepare well, and we'll see where it takes us.
Emley travelled to Worcester City on the 9th of March in the quarter-finals, and Hallam were so close to joining them. They drew 2-2 with Lincoln United, goals from Zottos and Buttles. The tie went to penalties, but Lincoln United getting the better of that one, winning 6-5. Right, so welcome back to Matt Jones, who returns after his recent health problems.
Firstly, I'd like to say how fantastic it was at the weekend to only have 2 games off after the torrential rain that we got on Thursday again. I was fortunate enough after my recent health scare to be able to go to the first game for 6 weeks, having been laid up in bed for a long time. I was really excited to be going up there, but I was actually asked to go up to Tadcaster and deliver some footballs. And Tadcaster, as people know, is renowned for having the river at the back of the ground and flooding. As we're driving up the A1, the fields are flooded, saturated everywhere. Huge ponds that never been there before. And I'm scared stiff the game's going to be off when we get there. When I got there, pitch was absolutely superb. So great credit to everybody, not only at Tadcaster, but across the league again for getting the games on, because it's been really difficult weather again, and that seems to be the norm. Just before a match day, it slings it down. Top 6 in the Premier Division at the weekend, all won, which is the race is really hotting up. Emley remains 6 points clear at the top with 2 games in hand over second place Campion, and the way Emley are playing at the minute, they're going to take some catching. In Division 1, Beverley thumped Ollerton 9-0, which was the standout result of the weekend. But there were other great results I've picked out for Athersley Recreation, who won 2-1 at Dronfield. Dronfield have been on a really good run at the minute, so that's not an easy place to go. And Yorkshire Amateur, who beat Glasshoughton 1-0, and are now within 1 point of the visitors on Saturday in the battle to stay up. And Yorkshire Amateur looked dead and buried a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden there's real signs of life down there. So well done to them. We mentioned Ollerton losing 9-0 at Beverley. Feel really sorry for Ollerton. At the start of the season, they appointed the youngest chairman in the league in Liam Kent. Secretary Craig Embleton works tirelessly. Behind the scenes, they're doing great things down at Ollerton. They've got a load of new junior teams. Things are moving in the right direction. But apart from the first team, they've lost 25 league games in a row now. They've got 4 points from 32 games and a goal difference of minus 109. So I feel for them because they keep playing the games. There's no indication of dropping out or folding or anything like that. They're determined to complete the season, and it's been really difficult. They've won a game since the 2nd of September, but they keep trying. They keep turning up. They're fulfilling all the fixtures. So it's a great credit to them.
If you have a question for Matt Jones, please email NCEL Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll try and include that question in a future edition. Volunteers are essential to all clubs at this level, and on the podcast we hope to feature a number of volunteers in future episodes. If you're a volunteer who would like to come onto the podcast and talk about what you do in your club, then email NCEL Podcast at gmail.com. I'm joined by Boyle, and Si's been looking at mileage travelled on away trips. What have your findings been?
Well, what I did, looking on the NCL website, they've got like a nice little grid on there which shows you between each of the different clubs how far each of them have to travel. So totting up the away mileage for each division kind of shows you how far some fans have to travel to support their teams away compared to some others, and certainly even for the teams themselves to have to travel. So looking at the Premier Division, the three shortest travelled teams, Emley for the season with 592 miles, Garforth Town 606 miles, and Frithcley Athletic with 624. That's quite some comparison to the bottom end of the table, or the longest journeys, if you like, where Pickering have more than double what Emley have got. Pickering across a season will travel 1,225 miles.
Wow.
Barton Town, your team, 1,115.
It's been stuck on that East Coast.
1,008. Yeah, it's the East Coast and the North, isn't it? That's the killer on the mileage for those ones, because obviously a lot of the other teams are quite central. So probably don't have as far to travel. But yeah, Bottisford 1,008 as well. So there's three teams that have got to travel more than 1,000, and that puts the average for the division at 759 miles. But most of the teams travel less than that. So that's the average because it's pushed up by the other teams. The longest journey in that division is between Hallam and Pickering, which is 84 miles. So it's a good 160-mile round trip for those teams.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Now, looking at Division 1, where my team plays, we have the shortest three trips are a little bit longer than in the Prem, but Parkgate is the shortest with 637. Onewell 643, and Athersley with 666 miles. Compared to the other end, and here's the whopping figure. The longest journey of both divisions, Louth Town, 1,746 miles across a season. So that's pretty much 3 times what Parkgate will travel. Or near enough
Louth
anyway.
as well, there's no sort of close motorway nearby as well, is there? So in terms of time, they'll be clocking the hours up as well.
I must say, when we actually did the trip over there for our away match, it does seem a bit of a slog once you come off the motorway and you still got quite a lot of A roads and B roads to go. Harrogate Railway have got 1,207, and Beverley Town 1,176. So they're the three longest in that. Brig not far off as well with 1,084. So there is a fair bit more mileage in that division compared to the other, putting the average mileage for those teams at 850 across the season. So you start to look at this, you think, as fans, when we do these away games, and that's just obviously one way. So I suppose round trips, it's going to be double that. That's just your one-way distances. That's your distance between each of the clubs in total. So yeah, that's a lot of travel for people there. Longest one in that division, 111 miles between Harrogate and Louth. That's going to be a trade. That's going to be what, 2.5 hours or more?
Yeah, Tuesday night.
For that one. Yeah, Tuesday night. Well, I think that's obviously part of the issue with wasn't it Clay Cross had a match where there was a match against Louth was cancelled this week because I don't know if the travel was the issue, but apparently they couldn't put us, didn't have enough players to put a team together. I wonder if the travel time would be an issue with that, because if you've got to get there, in time to prep for you want to be there for what, 6:30, 7, don't you, for a 7:45 kickoff?
Yeah, you do.
You've got to set off early for that one. So yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting just to see how far some of these teams have to travel, and obviously as teams progress up the divisions, the teams that have coming up from the different county levels will have had so much mileage, and once you get beyond the Premier Division, I suppose it increases even more.
Yeah, that's right. Once you get the Northern Premier League, I'm just thinking Bridlington Town, and we're in the NCEL for a lot of years. They would have been, if Beverley was Beverley about 1200. Well, Bridlington's another sort of 3/4 of an hour on from Beverley. I would think they'd be clocking up some big miles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be in the Pickering region, isn't it, in terms of numbers, I would have thought.
Yeah, probably more, I would think. Yes, it's yeah, and it's expensive. It's another cost, isn't it, when you all
It
the
is
players
not
will be
just for the
getting the
clubs, but
mileage paid.
fans and clubs. And I think, so therefore, in my opinion, shout out to all those teams that have got fans that travel more than 1,000 miles a year. Or 2,000,
Yes.
obviously, we knew double the mileage. And that's just in the league, not even counting some of the cup competitions. So shout out to all the fans that do the extra mileage.
Absolutely, yeah. Next up, NCEL Talk. I'll hand straight over to host Aaron Walton.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Hello, Bob. Hello, Si. Are we all right?
Hi, yes, fine, thank you.
Good.
Good to see you again.
Good to see. Yeah, good to see you. We've had a little bit. We've had a little bit of a break, but we won't go into about why we've had a 2-week break.
Yeah, we're back on track tonight.
We're back on track tonight, and what we're going to have a look at, we'll go dig straight into the Prem, and we'll go for what happened last Saturday. So, if I may start with Barton Town's trip to Emley. So, Emley top of the table. They beat Barton 3-1. I would say it was a proverbial game of two halves. Barton absolutely played off the park in the first half, and the second half they came out and gave a good account of themselves. Emley looked really good, I must admit, racing to a 3-0 lead, and I was thinking at half time we're going to get an absolute drubbing here. But as I said, to Barton's credit, they came out and made it hard for the Pewits in the second half and scored to make it 3-1. So not a bad game, but Emley are probably the best team I've seen this season, without a doubt. We look at Campion. They're keeping the pressure up. They won 3-1 at home to Handsworth. Joe Colley securing it with a 90th minute winner at 3-1. Garforth. Oh, Bob, let's go on to Garforth, Bob.
Right, Garforth. Well, actually, we played quite well at Garforth because Garforth is a tough place to go. We've got an excellent manager in Paul Marshall.
They have, yeah.
Yeah, and it was 1-0 at half time. But it was, being the home team, they was on top because the first half had more possession. But I think Gould gave them a good game. Right, no, Garforth got a second goal. But on the afternoon, and I thought we played quite well, really. A few weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and no disrespect to the other players, we might have lost quite by more than that, you know. We defended well because that match was on the back of beating Rossington the previous Tuesday. Went to Rossington and won 3-1. So we was feeling a bit more optimistic than we thought we might be as Viking fans. But the pitch was, I mean, they did well to get it on, but it was very wet, very wet.
And it's a bumpy old pitch as well, isn't it? I mean, Paul Marshall tells you that himself. It's a bumpy old pitch because it's built on an old landfill site. So every time we get quite a bit of weather, the pitch moves. I don't know if you noticed, Bob, every time we go different seasons, the pitch seems to have got more bumps in it or moved a little.
Yeah. And there's a slope on it as well, isn't there?
Jamie Barkaway got a couple of goals, didn't he, for them? Big Jamie scored.
And that was we conceded on 2 set pieces, really. Which was
a set piece.
Probably disappointing, you know. And something our manager's looking at. I know Nathan, our manager's looking at that. So
well,
the crowd on the day was a good crowd for Garforth. I mean, they're averaging 304, and they're 420.
420, yeah.
And there was a lot from Gould there. So even though we're near the bottom of the league, we still get good support, you know, which is good.
That's really good. That so that's Garforth and Gould. Garforth keeping up the pressure. Gould just putting a good spirited performance up there, losing 2-0. And then we go on to Rottington. They beat Bottisford with a late Greg Young goal. So Bottisford putting up a good fight there, but still losing 1-0. Thackley, wow, 5-0 to beating Knaresborough. it must have been a good game. Second half performance to beat Knaresborough. I think they scored 4 in the second half. So, I mean, Thackley are a very good team this season. They usually, history says they usually drop off a little bit this time of year, but they've certainly not dropped off because they've got something to play for. So that's Thackley and Knaresborough. Albion Sport, they keep up the pressure with a gutsy 2-1 away win at Frickley. Ashley Flynn back on the scoring. Oh dear, he scored some goals as Ash Flynn, hasn't he, for the clubs he's had.
Yeah, he's well known in non-league football as Ashley Flynn.
He's he's a poacher, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's a real. He knows where the goal is. Penistone slipped up at Tadcaster. Ollie Norman and Joe Crosby scoring for Taddy, and Nathan Keatley. God, he's a goal machine, isn't he, for Penistone? He got another one for Penistone. So
another one's always on the goal scoring charts, isn't he?
Yes, always there, isn't he? And Maltby got a valuable point at Muglet Lane against a strong Golker team. So
Maltby were 2-0 up at one time, I believe, wasn't they?
Was it 2? Yeah. So I mean, Golker are a team, but we'll come on to that in a bit.
No, we won't.
We won't, no, Bob. So Eccles Hill, they picked up a valuable win at home, didn't they, to Silsden, 2-1. Decent crowd too for Eccles Hill, over 100. So that's really good for Eccles Hill. And finally, Pickering lost to Hallam 3-0 with the biggest crowd for the countrymen of 529. So Hallam are still packing them in. Great crowd that for this level of football. And as you've just pointed there, Bob, Emley and Garforth 420 each, 230 at Thackley, 201 at Taddy, 190 at Maltby. So there's some really good crowds, isn't there?
What helps Hallam? What helps Hallam was that Sheffield United played on the Sunday. They might get Sheffield United supporters going to watch Hallam, which helps them. Yeah,
I think they get a lot of students as well at Hallam for some reason. So we'll look at the midweek games after we've gone to Si and had a look at Div 1. So we'll look at Beverley putting 9 past Ollerton then. It was only 3-0 at half time. So Beverley is certainly doing real well. And we're going to go on to Wakey. Beat Wasborough Bridge 3-1 and a super crowd side 523.
Yeah, another big number there. In fact, when you go up, even Beverley, going back to them, 294. I think both divisions have got some really good numbers this weekend. But yeah, I think Wakefield's was one of the highest in Step 6 across the country. There was I'll look on X and used to be called Twitter, what have you. And non-league crowds is a post on there, and they show you like across the country what attendances all the other teams have got at that level.
Yeah,
that was one of the biggest on the day.
Good.
Yeah, good. We made hard work of that one, but they do say the mark of a good side is winning when you're not doing well.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, they took the lead early, and we're leading at half time, and even into the second half, you're wondering if it's going to come. An equaliser 20 minutes into the second half, and then 2 late goals to get the win was a superb comeback.
Yeah. And on a personal note, how's the goalkeeper doing?
Ryan did very well, yeah.
Right, yes, I know him very well.
Clean sheet in his debut. When we played at Athersley last week, and conceded the one here, but it was we'd overplayed in defence. We'd misplaced a pass. They capitalised, and their player sent Ryan the wrong way. Know what we could do about that one, but no, seems very solid so far. So long may that continue.
Yeah, definitely, it's a good shot stopper. That's what I like, and it can save the odd penalty as well when he's on form. So yeah, he's a good keeper. You've got a good goalie there. So that was Beverley, and that was Wakey. Now Parkgate. So this is the
Beverley
thing
top as well now.
Beverley top, yeah.
Got the change there.
No, Parkgate leaving it late. 82nd minute to get a winner at Nostell. Ross Duggan again. So I don't know if Parkgate are faltering a little bit or panicking a bit, but they've got those games in hand, but they're running out of games.
There's a lot of them, isn't there? I mean, they play. I know we're going to come to midweek, but obviously they played in the cup in midweek as well.
Yeah.
So up until at this point in the time when they played Nostell's game, they still had 2 cup competitions they were in, as well as having to fit in those 7 that they've got to catch up. They're 7 games behind Wakefield at the moment. I'd like we always say, rather have points in the bag than games in hand.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be March is going to be a real slog for them, and if they come out of that on top and win the title, fair play to them, because they'll have really worked for it. They'll have had to really work for it in March.
Definitely.
And they've got to play. They've got to play 6 of the other top 6 sides as well. Still.
Yeah, I know.
In head-to-heads coming up. You look at all those games in hand that the teams have got that are below Wakefield and Beverley and what have you.
Yeah.
But there's 14 matches before the end of the season where they've all got to play each other. So it's not just about winning the games in hand; it's those head-to-head games that's really going to count.
It's looking really, really, really good and really exciting in that division. So long may it continue. So Woonwell lost to Louth 3-2. Aubrey beat Clarecross 2-0, and Staveley 4-1 winners at home to Swallownest. So obviously Swallownest are down at the bottom, and again, even at the bottom, Glasshoughton lost out in what I would call a big 6-pointer to Yorkshire Amateurs 1-0, didn't they? So Athersley, I think Athersley, I don't know who they've got, but they've had a fantastic win at Dronfield, 2-1. Jack Bristow scoring the winner, but that's brilliant, isn't it, for Athersley to win at Dronfield? That's a performance.
They've picked up lately, haven't they?
They have, yeah. Harrogate and Brigg fought out an entertaining Desmond, 2-2. So,
late equaliser there as well. 90th minute equaliser for Harrogate.
Definitely, definitely. So we'll look at the tables at the end because we've got a bit to get in. So if we go midweek, I'll tell you what, we'll start with Division 1 side because you're on a bit of a roll. So Armthorpe, he's the relegation worries with a 2-1 win at home to Staveley. I see Jack Varley was on the score sheet. I remember Jack when he played for Winton. Athersley, as we've just mentioned, win again, 3-2 at Retford United. Nathan Perk scoring a couple. He must be dual signed because I remember seeing him at Maltby a few weeks ago. So I don't know if Nathan's dual signed or has he gone to them. I'm not sure.
I think he's gone to them. I think I saw it
on the yeah.
I think on NCEL site that he's been transferred.
Oh, that because I'd only seen him a few weeks ago because he played real well against Barton. So Athersley, brilliant, really good. Beverley keep up the superb form, don't they, with a 4-2 win at Glasshoughton. And I've heard on the grapevine that Ben Inchliffe's first goal was a classic. So I've heard it's a real good one. So I can't wait to see the footage on that one. Selby put 6 past Harrogate. Clarecross lost out to Brigg 4-2. Now, Clarecross were supposed to be at home, weren't they? They played at Brigg.
That's right.
So what sort of happens with that? I've been told that you can only swap the ties if you've still got to play them again. Is that correct, or am I just being told a load of rubbish?
I'm
not sure on that one. I know they said. I think it was issues with the pitch still, and I'd seen a post that they'd contacted Brigg, and Brigg were happy to play at theirs. Whether they've have they still got to play each other then, or what's a quick one?
I'm not sure because Clarecross did it against Shirebrook as well, didn't they?
We did something similar beginning of season. We should have been playing Ecclesville away. We played at home because their ground wasn't ready, And we did that.
End of March is Brigg versus Clarecross, so they might just reverse it.
I think that's so. So I've been told correct then. So and I'm going to give a special mention to Swallownest, who beat Nostell.
Absolutely. That's for me. That's one of the results of the night. Is that one?
Definitely
because they're struggling down there, and big win for them is that.
Really big.
definitely.
Hopefully that gives them a little bit of confidence building up. So that was your Div 1 games. You had a cup game, didn't you, Si?
Oh, did we ever? Yes, that was a great night of football. That was. It's probably one of my favourite matches that I've been to. We had a really good away support, plenty of sort of chanting and shouting. Coming back from a goal down against a team that's in a higher division, you can't beat it. It's it was a great night of football. I don't think Tadcaster enjoyed it as much, obviously, but for us it was really good. Yeah, and now a semi-final. There's some big names in there now.
Yeah,
in that West Riding Cup.
It's not been drawn, I take it, has it?
No, not yet. No, and there's still a couple of rounds still to play from previous.
Right.
There's Harrogate and Halifax, who then play near Knaresborough.
Yes,
so they've got to do it. But there's Pontefract Collieries and Guiseley, the other two that through. So
yeah, I've seen Ponty. I've seen Ponty a couple of times this season. Big physical team. They're good. Hopefully you don't get them. So if we can go on to
you want to do the Wednesday night result, the Division 1. There was one match on Wednesday night, wasn't there?
There was. What was that? You tell me what that was. Can you remember?
York Geometries beat Glasshoughton 4-0. And what that did, it switched around. The York Geometries went out of the relegation zone and it got Glasshoughton into it.
Oh, so
that was a vital win for York Geometries, but not good news for Glasshoughton, unfortunately.
Exactly. Well, again, that was a big 6 pointer. So Yorkshire Amateurs and Athersley and also Armthorpe have started to pick up a bit, haven't they? And even Swallow Nest have. So that was good. So let's have a look at midweek in the Prem. Right. So Garforth continue their good form, don't they? Putting 5 past Bottisford.
Yeah, McDowell's up a bit better than Saturday because we only lost 2.
I know, but sure. And somebody who's familiar to you and me, Bob, Sam Cable opened his account, didn't he? And I think 2 of the best players in the league, Sam Barker and Charlie Marshall, getting 2 apiece. They are.
On Saturday, number 10, Sam Barker. He was the man of the match for me. He was controlling. Yeah, good player.
He's a good player. We call him the Miners Messi. He's really good and really nice lad as well. So that was Garforth putting 5 past Bottisford. So they're still putting that pressure on the top half of the table there in the playoff positions. Silsden back onto winning ways. Got on the podium 4-0 against Handsworth. So that was a good result for Silsden. And the match I was at, well, if you want to see goals, come and watch Barton Town. You watch, Bob. We'll be playing Tuesday night, be 0-0. Yeah, won't it? But
I'll settle for that.
Well, I'll settle for a point. So it was Knaresborough 4, Barton Town 3. A Lewis Stevens hat-trick. And for me, the second goal, he had a look up. It was about 20, 30 yards out. Saw our keeper about a few yards off his line and hit it. And what a goal that was.
He's a good striker, isn't he? He was at Wakefield last season and he's a quality striker.
He looks really good. For me, he was man of the match, definitely. But for me, it was a game of should we say official decisions. Offside. Barton had the ball in the net quite a lot of times and were given offside. 2, I want to see the video footage before I say anything and start chastising officials, but they were very, very tight. They were very, very... And if VAR was there, I think we'd have still been there looking at it. So, but the referee even gave us a penalty and even made Tom Wardby take the penalty twice. He did score it. And I'm going to give a real special mention to Tom Wardby scoring his 100th and 101st goal for Barton Town. So well done, Tom. Really committed player, really good. I thought Barton in the first half, again, the defence, they all looked like strangers. And Knaresborough were just cutting us to pieces. Knaresborough had not won a game in February or scored a goal till they played us. Yeah. Strange fact, because Knaresborough are a tough team to beat. But Barton give it a go, second half, fought back. So we got a penalty. Lovely free kick from Todd Morby near the end, and he beat Toby Wells, because Toby's a good keeper, Toby Wells. So he beat Toby to make it 4-3. But I was really disappointed with some of the decisions, and I thought that Nesborough's fourth goal, I don't know, it might be rose-tinted glasses, but I thought that Lewis Stevens was in an offside position. Somebody shot, it hit him, come back, and they shot again, and it went in. But none of the Barton Town players appealed, so it can't have been offside. So you win some, you lose some, but if you're Barton at the moment, we're just losing. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. You got to get behind your team. I feel a little bit sorry for the manager because he's doing his best. So, but that's just the way it goes. But the spirit's there, and we've got a lovely away, a tough trip away at Campion on Saturday. So that'll be wonderful. So Bob, sorry mate, I've got to get on to you. Goal and Golka. What happened? What happened, mate?
Yeah, the first 20 minutes were superb. We went 1-0 up. If the referee blown the whistle, then we'd all been happy. Well, the Vikings supporters. But then they equalised off a set piece first goal.
Yeah.
And that was after about 20 odd minutes. Then they went 2-1 up, 3-1 up. 3-1 up at half time. And being a Goal supporter, we thought it's a long hill to climb now. And I was talking to Ollie Russell, plays for Golka.
Ollie Russell, yeah.
Lovely lad. And I was talking to him before the games, having a catch up, and he scored 2 of the goals against us.
I was just going to say, stitched you up there, didn't he?
But the Golka are a good team. I mean, before we played them, the previous 6 games had won 4 and drawn 2. So they're on a good run.
Yeah, they're a good team, Bob. There's no getting away from it.
So the best team won. To be honest, we just on the night we were not good enough. And the manager was really good of him to come out later on our fans' forum and apologise to the sport.
All right. All right.
At least if you hear some comments from the manager, it helps the supporters to understand a bit more, because Golka on a Tuesday night in February is a long way to go. So you didn't get that many Viking supporters there,
I know. Barton's got to do it on a weeknight in March, so it's not going to be for us.
This match was cancelled on a previous Saturday.
I think ours was because their pitch gets a bit heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah, so, they did want to get it on. To be honest, they did want to get it on.
Yeah. So if we look at the league tables, then, gentlemen,
can you say about there was a match on Wednesday which was vital to us, the teams at the bottom, because Ecclesfield played Hallam, and it was 0-0 to 85th minute, and Hallam scored a goal to win 1-0.
I know. So, So that's well. If we look at the league tables, we'll start looking at the bottom. It's very tight down there, isn't it? We've got Bottisford on 31 games and 28 points. Yeah. We've got Ecclesfield on 29 games and 25 points. Yeah. Yourself, Gould, are on 30 games and 24 points, and Maltby are on 30 games and 22. So it's close. It's close, isn't it? I mean,
that was a vital win for Hallam. I mean, if Ecclesfield have got a point, but it's a point away from us again. It's getting further away. So.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, Pickering at 29. Well, dare I say, even Barton on 32. If Maltby started winning, you never know.
It is. I mean, I don't think it's a saving grace or what. We've only played 25 games.
Yeah, so you've got games in hand, haven't you? That's one thing to look at least there. Yeah.
And the goal difference is it's -1. Yeah, so it's pretty good. Yeah,
we're -49.
I know. I'm not going to say that, Bob, but you've mentioned.
No, I'll hold my hands up, because it's there in black and white.
Yeah.
No hiding from it.
No, but it's just as I think it's exciting down at the bottom as it is at the top. Well, at the top, I don't know whether it's exciting or not, because for me, Emley seem to be running away with it, don't they? They're on 29 games, 69 points. And Campion have played, 2 more games, and they're on 63 points. So I think if
it's
Emley
the battle for the playoffs, isn't it? It's the playoff places now, which is the interesting bit.
I'll just get into that start. Yeah, so you've got Campion there on 63 points. For me, Garforth are the ones. 29 games, 56 points. Paul Marshall just got them ticking over. I mean, the last time they lost it was against Barton, of all teams. So there you go. So, and then we've got Rossington there on 30 games, 53 points. Thackley, 32 games and 53 points. And Albion, now again, Albion, one of them teams, 28 games, 52 points. And Albion's goal difference isn't too bad. It's 21, whereas Thackley's is only 6 and Rossington's is only 13. So for me, Albion are one of them teams as well. Then even Penistone at 46. I know it's 10 points behind Garforth, and they can put a run together. And then we've got the mid-table, haven't we? We've got the Golker, the Silsdens, Knaresborough, Alham, Frickley and Taddy, Handsworth, all reasonably close together. And then we've got Barton that have either got 1 foot in sort of, we've got to watch out what we're doing, and then 1 foot thinking we're quite clear. So Barton need to get a couple of wins at least. But it's been a funny old season for us, really, with games being cancelled and players unavailable. You know, I could if ifs and buts were fruit and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. But that's just the way Barton are at the moment. So let's go, Si, onto the Division 1. Now that's looking really, really good. So you've got Beverley on 32 games, 77 points. You've got Wakefield, 35 games, 75 points. And then you've got those pesky Parkgate on 28 games and 72 points. So do you think Shirebrook are still in it? Do you think Retford United are still in it?
I think title-wise, I think it's between the top 3. And I think playoffs is anyone in that top 6.
Top 6. So down to Wombwell in 6 then. Or Wombwell
Yeah. I'm not writing off Shirebrook or Retford United something. It's just that they just they have dropped points recently when other teams like Beverley and Parkgate haven't.
Yeah.
So I think they're the ones that are definitely in pole position. The question with Parkgate, like we've already said, is do the amount of games they've got to play, does that catch up with them?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as tight as you like. I mean, if you can pick a winner out of those, then at this point, it could be anyone.
If you could pick a winner now, you can pick my numbers for the lottery. So that is, it's looking really good. And then you've got teams like Horbury still sort of, but I don't think they're going to do it because, like you said, Si, they had a bit of a slow start, didn't they? And they've tended to pick up a bit. They still lose the odd game where you think they should have won.
The advantage for Horbury, what I have noted, is that they don't have to play any of the top 6 now. They've played home and away against all of the top 6. So everyone that they play to the end of the season is below them in the table. So that's that could be a factor. You never know. If somebody they need 2 teams to drop, but Retford United just lost, like you said, to Athersley. So if someone like Retford United and Wombwell drop a bit, Horbury might sneak in there. I'm not, they're not. It's an odds. It's long odds, but they might do it.
I know Retford United's last game is at home to Beverley, isn't it? So that'll be, and if Beverley need the points, so that's going to be a real good one, isn't it? I know Beverley's last 2 matches. It's I think is it Parkgate at home on a Tuesday night, and then away at Retford United on the Saturday. That's their last 2 games. So that's going to be good. I think Staveley have had a good season because I know they're always saying they're a team of young lads, but I think Staveley have had a good season and they'll be building for next season. I think Staveley, they're in 8th. Brigg pulled the socks up and come up the league a little bit. I always say on paper they've got a really good team, but we don't play on paper. But they've sort of pulled up a bit. And down at the bottom, and I just feel for Ollerton really, because they're so far behind now, aren't they? 4 points, 32 games. and minus 109 goals. It's
conceded 9 against Beverley last weekend, and it's Wakefield. That's who Wakefield are playing on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it keeps coming from, doesn't it, to a degree?
Yeah, it does. Swallow Nest have picked up a little bit. They're on 13 points, but I think they're still cut adrift. And this is where it's interesting. You've got Glasshoughton 25 points, Yorkshire Amateurs 27 points, Armthorpe 30 points, Athersley 32 points, and Clare Cross 32 points. So
anyone from Clare Cross to Glasshoughton could be that last spot, couldn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, Si, a few of them teams have started to win, haven't they?
Yeah, Athersley picking up, like you say, Yorkshire Amateur, as Bob said, against Westborough, picking up, big 3 points in midweek. Someone's going to get left behind.
They certainly are. So if we quickly, because we've not got much long left, what's your game of the weekend? If you pick a game out for me.
Backgate versus Retford United. It's the one that's the top 6 clash.
Wow.
Retford United, obviously, after that result against Athersley, are going to want to bounce back. And is a trip to Parkgate really the place to do that?
Exactly.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's a strong one. So, Bob, pick me a game out in the Premier. What do you think is going to be the best game there?
Well, we've got a tough game for us, home to Garforth. It's a fixture. We should have played. We should have played Garforth early in the season, so we played them last week, and now we're home on Saturday because this is a switch fixture, and be a tough game. That's what I saw them on. They've gone. I think they've gone 11 games or 12 games, only lost one. So they're in good form, You'll
be sick of seeing them, Bob, won't you?
But the thing is, when you're near the bottom, like we are, with 8 games left, they're all sort of cup finals, all important games. We're getting to the business end now of the season, And of course, we'll be looking at, like Maltby, they'll be looking at our game, and they're playing Albion Sports. And
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.